morning. On behalf of Arkansas Parks and Recreation Foundation, I would like to welcome you to the dedication ceremony for the Michael Lasiter Gateway to Allsopp Park. We're pleased that you all could join us this morning. We're here today because of some forward thinkers, a great deal of generosity, and much hard work. This gateway was delivered through a unique and new private-public partnership, which I'll explain a little more in detail shortly. But first, I'd like to recognize some of our distinguished audience members and thank them for their commitment to enhancing quality of life in Little Rock. Mayor Scott, thank you for being here. I'd like to also recognize our foundation's chairman, Jim Schamberger, and our founding chairman, John Gill. This gateway is an access point for adventure and interactions with nature. Prior to this day, we certainly did not fully appreciate or realize the benefit and potential of this lovely space. Now, with the Michael Lasiter Gateway, we have a road cyclist meetup, a new trail to hike, run, or bike, a space for kids to unplug and explore. This gateway will bring together neighbors and build a generation of kids who grew up playing in nature. So many of you have given money, time, energy, and support to this project. Today we say thank you, and tomorrow and every day beyond that, we hope you love and enjoy this park. The fruits of the work are evident today in physical form, but the roots are in the people that made it happen. And I'd like to share a little bit about how this project came to be. 2 years ago, in Arkansas Parks and Recreation Foundation's infancy, I received a call from a friend of mine, Representative Andrew Collins, who connected me to this idea, a vision for creating a space that welcomes people into the North Ravine of Allsopp Park. And in walked Brendan Quirk, the project's visionary. Brendan explained that he'd passionately advocated for this project and worked with the city and the neighborhood association to pull together a plan for this space. It was his passion and vision that we have to thank for this concept coming to life. I'd also like to thank the people who took that vision and made this work a reality. First of all, the City of Little Rock Parks and Recreation Department. John Eckert, the director, Leland Couch, Parks Design Manager, and Jackie Collins and his entire team. The City Parks Department and their staff made this an efficient and cost-effective effort. They also brought a lot of creativity, and we should all be proud of their work for our city. Lucas Hargraves, who couldn't be with us today, he helped me keep the train on the track and gain support for the project. Hunter East, Dave Grunfast, Dan Hastings, and all the friends of Michael Lasiter. You passionately jumped on this vision that created and utilized our foundation exactly how it was designed, to connect people to parks and create meaning and investment for improvement and innovation. You have all been a pleasure to work with. You've shown enormous passion for life and sport that honor the legacy of your dear friend Michael. And to Michael's family, I hope this space provides solitude and meaning for you and your entire family for generations to come. Redstone, thank you for providing the concrete work for this project. Just last week, Andy Rose told me that Redstone was Michael, and to have you all participate makes it all the more special. You've helped bring in Argos, Razorback Concrete, and Heslop Concrete, and we're grateful for their donations and materials to this project. Heights Neighborhood Association, thank you for participating and from your support from the beginning. You've been wonderful champions of the work. To the Arkansas Parks and Recreation Foundation Board of Trustees, who passionately believe in parks and want to improve health and access to special places for all Arkansans. I encourage you to follow the organization on social media and the news and get out and see our projects. I can't possibly name everyone who supported this project. We had some leadership gifts that led us to completion, and a few of those I'd like to name. Missy and Kent Sorrells, McGeorge Contracting, Gil Reagan Owen, Janet and Scott Korenblatt, the McGeorge family, the Steele family, the Dyke family, the Mahaffey family, Rudy McCormick, and Bobby Benberg, and so many more. I'd also like to just make a point to say our snacks were provided by the pizzeria in the Boulevard. Just like the park, these local restaurants are part of our community and our neighborhood, and we're glad to share this neighborhood with them. I encourage you today and in the days that come to walk the park and notice those names that are present, and remember this. The gifts that were provided helped us move dirt. They provided landscaping. They helped us build a trail, plant a tree, add boulders, build a gateway, and place a bench for all to enjoy. I'm inspired and want you to know that giving to parks provides gifts for all to enjoy and a vision for the future to positively impact this place we call home. And with that, I'd like to introduce my friend and our mayor, Frank Scott.
Suzanne, thank you so much for the kind words and your leadership with the Arkansas Parks Foundation and helping bringing this to reality. Man, you usually don't tell a Baptist preacher you need to use the mic that loud. Today is a great moment for the city of Little Rock. It's a true demonstration of what a public-private partnership is. And anytime a city can play a role in helping with the public-private partnership and not spend a dime, it's a good day. And it shows what the community can do. When we see this, number one, we are honoring a great man, a great civic leader, a great business leader. I had the opportunity of meeting Michael many years ago when I was on the Highway Commission. And if you met Michael once before, you understand his drive. You understand his willingness to get something done. And so first, I want to take this time to honor Michael's legacy. His mother, Hannah, his wife, Caroline. If you all would raise your hands, please, so everyone can acknowledge you. To Hannah and Miss Caroline, we thank you. We thank you for giving us Michael for many, many years, and his legacy will live on not only through this park, but what he's already invested with many people across this state and forevermore. So thank you so much. Again, as we talk about public-private partnerships, anytime you understand certain things have to come to reality. From the vision of Andrew Collins and Brandon Quirk really coming together to help us visualize how we truly connect parks to people. And when we connect parks to people and through a public-private partnership, three things you'll get. You'll find a concerted effort of business professionals and civic leaders who are all coming together to make a vision come into reality. But secondly, after we have this concerted effort, you have to have community engagement through the connectedness of one of the community. Anytime that you have a neighborhood association and leaders within the parks community coming together, bring this to reality is a good day because the community is all in and very receptive to the process. But finally, after we have this concerted effort of business and civic leaders coming together and community engagement, is creative solutions. And this is an example of creative solutions of how Little Rock will continue to build its place of quality of life in place. Whether it's for the aging and friendly community or millennials like myself, we all are beginning to choose where we want to live first based on quality of life in place. And this is yet another testament of Little Rock taking care of its own and figuring out what our true strengths are, which is quality of life in place. So what I want to do today is say thank you to you all because you made this happen. It wasn't the city of Little Rock outside of our parks and tourism department. That's great. But they needed to have the money, they needed to have the vision to bring this to reality, and this is a great demonstration of teamwork. So we thank our Parks Department, we thank the Public-Private Partnership because we are truly creating more solutions for this city as it relates to quality of life in place. Thank you. We'll now bring to the stage Mr. Hunter East.
Okay, I'll be reading most of my remarks because my memory is fading. First, there was a lot of people that made this day happen. A lot of people did a lot of work, but none more so than Suzanne Grubmeyer. It wouldn't have happened without her, and she deserves a big hand here. Good morning, my name is Hunter East, and I am one of the many friends of Michael Lasiter here this morning. Our group, the Friends of Michael Lasiter, together with the Heights Neighborhood Association, the Arkansas Parks and Recreation Foundation, and Little Rock Parks and Recreation, worked together with a few others to make this day happen. Today we are gathered to dedicate the Michael Lasiter Gateway to Allsopp Park, and to celebrate not only the opening of this beautiful park, but also the memory of our good friend, father, husband, brother, and son, Michael Allen Lasiter. I would be remiss if I did not also recognize Leland Couch and his staff at Little Rock Parks and Recreation, as well as the company Michael Lasiter founded, Redstone Construction, for doing most of the actual work to build this beautiful new gateway to Allsopp Park. If you'll indulge me, I'd also like to relate a brief story about how fate played a part in getting this park built. It all started one early spring morning when I was riding past this very location on my way to a local coffee shop to join a group ride. As I rode by, I saw Brendan right over here, literally hacking away at brush and weeds right here in this very spot that we're gathered. Curiosity got the best of me, so I stopped to inquire what on earth he might be doing. He explained that he was working with the city to try and build a gateway on the site to access trails going into Allsopp Park. He explained that he was trying to raise the money privately to get it done, and would I help him? Well, I must admit that I didn't say yes right away. Nor did I say no, but instead I hemmed and hawed just a little bit and told him I'd get right back to him on that. Not long after that chance meeting, I had an idea. The idea related to the fact that Dave Grumfast and I had been trying to build some sort of memorial to Michael using the funds raised when Michael died, where many of Michael's friends, family, and business acquaintances had donated to the Big Dam Bridge Foundation in lieu of flowers. Dave and I had run into significant obstacles trying to get something built in the area around the base of the Big Dam Bridge on the south side. We faced issues related to Corps of Engineer approval, city budget constraints, and other various and sundry challenges that had caused us not just a little consternation and significant delays in getting something done. That evening I called Dave and said, what if we use the funds raised in Michael's honor to help Brendan Quirk build the park at Kavanaugh and Crestwood, the gateway to Allsopp Park? We both really liked the idea conceptually because Brendan had already made great headway in getting the necessary approvals. We still needed to get a thumbs up from Brendan that the funds could be used, we needed approval from Mark Rogers at the Big Dam Bridge Foundation that the funds could be used for such a project in this particular location. Both the parties were enthusiastically in favor, so conversations ensued and meetings were arranged with Suzanne Grubmeyer at Arkansas Parks and Recreation Foundation, Leland Couch with Little Rock Parks and Recreation, Norman Hodges with the Heights Neighborhood Association, and Lucas Hargraves, the hand-picked supporter who was tapped by Brendan Quirk. Brendan had relocated around that time to Northwest Arkansas, but stayed very involved. We determined very quickly that we would need to raise more money, so we formed a committee representing the Friends of Michael Lasiter, comprised of me, Dave, Stan Hastings, Scott Kornblatt, and Kent Sorrells. Together with Suzanne Grubmeyer and many of you here today, we were able to exceed our fundraising goals, which is a testament to not only how people perceived the idea of the park, but also how people felt about honoring Michael. Further, the cooperation between private citizens and the city to build this park is somewhat of a unique model, and one that will hopefully provide the inspiration for similar parks to be constructed in the future. We can all be proud of working together to ensure Brendan Quirk's vision has become a reality. The moral of the story is, if you see a man hacking away in the weeds on the side of the road, stop by for a chat. As I was thinking about what I might say today, I thought about Michael and what he might want me to say. He wouldn't want me to get too serious, but I think he would have wanted this to be more of a celebration of community, his community. All of you were his community. This park represents so many things that Michael was about. It's in his neighborhood. It's a gateway to his neighborhood park where he regularly rode both his mountain bike and passed by on his road bike. It's simply an outdoor facility where people in his community, including his beautiful wife and children, can enjoy many of the things that he so loved. The one thing he might not have loved was how steep some of these hills are back here. Michael didn't love riding his bike uphill, but he loved going downhill because he really loved to go fast. Those of you that knew him well know that he modified virtually every motorized thing that he owned. Heck, he had the only 175-mile-an-hour Suburban in Arkansas. I chuckled when I thought of what Michael might do today at this park. He'd probably show up for a mountain bike ride on one of the new e-bikes that he would have had sent off to Hennessy to have it chipped and modified, and he would have blown us all away riding up these hills at 30 miles an hour. He was definitely one of a kind, and we all miss him dearly. This park is the perfect way to honor his memory and is a permanent legacy of which he would be immensely proud. Thank you all. And I would now like to introduce Brendan Quirk, the man hacking away in the weeds. Right.
Appreciate it. And thanks for everybody for being here today. It's always interesting the work that we do as a community to build community and drive quality of life initiatives in Little Rock. It's always interesting to look at those efforts in context of broader national trends. If you look at the last election, the 2019, that off-year election, there were 29 ballot initiatives related to parks and green space across 14 different states. Of those 29 initiatives, 24 of them passed. It's an 80% win rate for parks and for green space. Yes, you got some of the kind of the expected folks, California, Massachusetts, tree huggers and blue states like me. They vote for those parks and green space initiatives. But you also saw South Carolina, Texas, what you typically think of as red states. They were just as enthusiastic about passing those ballot initiatives. And I think that shows that parks and green space, it's above ideology, it's above partisanship, it's one of the great unifiers of community. That's how I feel about this gateway that honors Michael. And that's how I feel with Little Rock Parks Department in general. We have amazing parks in Little Rock. I feel like we have a lot of good things going on. We have a lot of untapped potential. We have untapped potential here in Allsopp. We have untapped potential with the work that the mayor and John Eckert are leading in respect to War Memorial and what the future of that golf course is going to be. And I'm excited to see how parks become more and more of the heart of our community as we continue to grow and develop, attract new talent, and retain talent to the city that we all love. As I look back to 2016, as Hunter was saying, kind of hacking back here, this was like a haunted forest back here. It was like out of Hansel and Gretel. I live in the neighborhood over here. I was trying to walk with my two dogs to this trailhead right here. And I ended up having to walk down the road against traffic to get my dogs in here because of the dead trees, because of the invasive species, because of the weeds. There's tons of yard waste just strewn. People just dump stuff in this park. The person I got in touch with was our city director, Kathy Webb. And I said, Kathy, what is that piece of property right there? Like, who owns it? What is it? And she said, it's actually part of Allsopp Park, and I've got some good news for you. And I said, well, what is that? And she said, well, the city of Little Rock has a grant program called the Love Your Block grant program, and you can do a volunteer work day. We'll give you $1,000 to invest in the park. And that's how it all kicked off, was this amazing program that the city of Little Rock has with Love Your Block. We ended up working with Norman Hodges here, who's the president of the Heights Neighborhood Association, to apply and receive 2 of those grants. We got a grant from Judge Barry Hyde at Pulaski County, worked closely with Andrew Collins, with others to get more governmental support. And you've heard some of these names already, but they bear repeating. John Eckert, Leland Couch, Mark Webb, City of Little Rock Parks. They took lots of crazy meetings with me where we tried to build this vision out. They provided us amazing support. Dave Grumfest, Hunter East, amazing what they did in terms of raising funding. And lastly, Suzanne Grobmeyer here, who is just kind of Santa Claus, who made it all happen. I can't say how grateful I am for all their participation. So thank you all for being here, and I'm really stoked that this thing is open. Thank you.
And with that, I'm really proud to say that this park is open and ready for you and your family, especially this Thanksgiving holiday, to enjoy, and hopefully it won't rain too much. Get out and see the new trail, get out and enjoy this peaceful space for years and years to come. And with that, there are refreshments, and I hope you come and look around. Thank you for coming today.